Hi guys, I'm Chef Daniel, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really good pizza dough. You know, at the food court we have a new pizza concept at the market, and it's actually this dough that we're going to make. So let's get started. That pizza dough is very easy. I'm using a organic flour, pizza flour. I'm using the yeast. This one is a dry active yeast. It's not an instant yeast. I'm going to be using 500 grams of the flour, or 500 milliliters basically of the flour, so which is 2 cups. I'm going to measure the water. 500 milliliters of flour, it's going to be 315 milliliters of water. And I'm going to add maybe half a teaspoon of maple syrup. Sprinkling the yeast in my warm water, and I'm going to let it sit for a little. And when it starts to foam like this, you see the top, the yeast gets a little paler and starts to foam. I'm going to add my olive oil. I got about a tablespoon of olive oil. And there we go. And now with a whisk, I'm going to give it a stir. Just like this. Give it a little stir to mix in the yeast properly. So I'm just going to start adding the flour, maybe 1/3 of what I have in the amount, and give it a stir. Just like this with a whisk, until it becomes creamy like a batter. Give it a stir, start adding this to the batter, and just with a spatula, start stirring until it starts forming the dough. Now I'm going to be ready to knead it by hand. So I'm going to add a bit more flour here on my working surface. There you go. And let's start the kneading. Slowly incorporate the flour into the dough by turning the dough like this on the surface, and then with the heel of your hand, the palm of your hand, just do a quick turn like this to incorporate the flour slowly. The kneading, that's what develops the flavor of your dough. So you want to knead that dough for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so after 15 minutes, about 15 minutes of kneading, your dough should look like this, nice and smooth on the outside. Don't be afraid to give a few slaps on the table like this. It kind of wakes up the dough. Once your dough is like this kneaded, just form a nice smooth ball. And we're going to grab a bowl here. I'm just going to put just a drop of olive oil in the bottom of the bowl so the dough doesn't stick. Give it a little stir in the bowl, just like this. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this with you can use a wet rag, you can use saran wrap. You cover it and you let it proof for about an hour. So once your dough has proofed and doubled in size, you want to give it a little touch. It should be sticky to the hands, but not sticking to your finger. So I've formed 2 portions, 2 balls. Cover it with saran wrap and let it sit again for about 30 minutes. So once the dough has rest for a second time, look at it, really nice and puffy, ready to be stretched into a pizza. So I'm just going to flour my surface a little bit. Just flour a working surface. And then with your fingers, you just press on the dough like this. For my size of oven I'd like, I'm going to make it a little bit rectangular. So I'm just going to keep on pressing with my fingers like this. And then you flip it over your hands, stretch a bit, flip it over your hands like this. Look at that, nice and stretchy. It's a beautiful dough. Stretch the dough a little bit like this and put it on the parchment sheet. So let's prep a margherita. I'm just going to slice the mozzarella slices just like that. Just grab a spoon. Got a nice fresh tomato sauce here. Put the sauce on it. Be generous with the sauce. This is a fresh, unbaked tomato sauce. I'm just going to scatter my mozzarella cheese around. So just let mozzarella cheese like this. The sauce is already seasoned. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the pan over here. Put it here, and then transfer my pizza onto the pan, just like that, on the parchment sheets. Open the oven, Put it back in the oven, and let's bake this for about 20-25 minutes until it's nice and golden on the outside and the crust is cooked. 20 to 25 minutes after, our pizza is done. Look at this. Nicely brown on the outside. Margherita pizza. I've got fresh basil. Just scattered some pieces of basil on top of the pizza like this. Pizza Margherita. Enjoy.